All right, so about 6 months ago, I bought a new bike. This guy right here, the Pivot Trail 429. And when I was speccing out the build on this new bike, I knew I wanted to try a bunch of new stuff. I had had my previous bike, the Pivot Mach 6, for about 9 years, so I was super ready for a change. And you know, it's quite a bit of different bike going from a 160 to a 120 bike. Okay, so to kind of set the backstage for this, I'm just a guy who loves to mountain bike. I don't get sponsorships of any sort. I don't know who would want to pay me to do any of this stuff. But all of this stuff I bought with my own money. So along with that, I don't have a whole lot of side-by-sides to compare this with. I've got my previous bike, a few demo bikes, and then I've got this bike. So what I'm going to be doing, instead of comparing this to other things particularly, I'm really going to be looking at my experience with it. Looking at things like, do I enjoy this? Does using this particular product component make me happy? Does it enhance my riding experience? And is the overall ownership of this product easy? Is it a pain in the butt to own and maintain? All of those things are kind of going to go into this equation, and try to answer the question, after 6 months, 600 or so miles of riding this bike, would I spec it out and choose those same components today that I did back then? And today we're going to be taking a look at them rims. I don't know why I'm yelling. Let me try that again. The rims. The rims. We're going to be taking a look at the question every bike buyer has to face at some point in their lives: to carbon or not to carbon. Rims, that is. What kind? The Reynolds Blacklabel carbon with Industry 9 Hydra hubs, 29 inches of pure noisy goodness. I love them. Dang it, I think I already gave away the review. So there are a couple of reasons why I picked them. One, the carbon rims seem to fit the bill for the high performance, lightweight nature of the build I was going after for this particular bike. These Reynolds Blacklabels are approximately 1,400 grams versus the other options, those DT Swiss 1700s, they come in at about 1,700. So there's almost a 300 gram weight savings just between those two options. And that's 300 grams of rolling weight, moving weight that you have to, get moving each time. So, and that potentially has a big impact on your ride. Also, never tried carbon before. I was super excited to. Again, I had my previous bike for about 9 years, and I think at that time they were called the DT Swiss like 350 limited edition rims or something like that. And absolutely nothing wrong with those in the world. I never had to do anything with them. Beat the crap out of it, went over all sorts of stuff. Never had a single problem with them. But again, I wanted to try new stuff. This was definitely it. And the third reason, I know this sounds immature and childish, but I love that sound. That sound alone was like, okay, I have to have those. So there you go. How do I like them? Quick answer, I love them. Let me explain. Okay, so some of the things that I've noticed that are really different about these rims is just how quick they are to accelerate. I mean, even if you're on a dead stop on a steep hill and the terrain's a little iffy, all you have to do, it seems like they just get up to speed amazingly fast. I love that about these. Also, they seem to carry speed way better than I'm used to. Whether that's, uphill, downhill, pedaling on flats, whatever the case is, I can be coasting and all of a sudden I'm flying past people. It just feels so fast. Again, these things just accelerate like crazy, and I love the way they feel, whether the lightness thing is all in my head or it's an actual lightness. But every single time I'm on these, the way that these things accelerate is absolutely amazing. I love that about them. I'm going to jump around a little bit here, and these aren't specific to them being carbon, but the 29-inch rim, I was a little skeptical at first about it because I think one of my friends told me, you can't have 29-inch wheels on a small frame bike. That's ridiculous. So in my head, I thought, okay, maybe this is silly. But the advantage these 29-inch wheels give you over the 27.5 as far as being able to easily roll over all that trail garbage, the little rocks that come up on the trail and little jump ups that you have to encounter and cross over and that sort of thing. It's amazing. These are They just climb so freaking well and roll over things that you thought, there's no way I'm going to clear this, and all of a sudden you're just easily tractoring over things. I love that about these wheels. Also, if you're worried about the 29-inch wheels, like feeling like a boss and leaning and not being very quick to turn, don't be. They do feel a little bit different. They aren't as snappy as the 27.5s are, but you quickly adjust to that and you can flick this bike around with these rims on it like nothing else. So it feeling like a bus and falling over in corners, it's not a problem whatsoever. The 29s are great. All right, so another thing that was a slight concern of mine before I purchased these was durability. The aluminum rims I had before proved to be bulletproof. You know, I had no worries with them whatsoever as far as staying true or the spokes being awesome or anything like that. And a couple of things that helped me finally be willing to commit to these was A, they come with a lifetime guarantee. All you have to do once you buy them is you register them on the Hayes site, which is the parent company of Reynolds, and any sort of warranty claim, boom, there you go. Another thing, what I could tell you from my experience, these do have a few scratches over them just after 6 months. But again, I don't baby my stuff. I ride it because I love to ride. These spokes are incredibly thin and they look very delicate. So far, they're holding up fine. This sounds silly. The worst part of these rims as far as the durability goes, these decals are not staying on very well. There's a few spots where it's coming up, chipping and pilling and that sort of a thing, but that's just decals. Another thing with the carbon, they look frickin' amazing. These are just a naked raw carbon, and in the sun, even in this light, the way it shines, you can see that under, I don't know what it is, the underpinnings, the way that the weave is put together, it just looks amazing. It looks so good, and they're so subtle. And that's another thing, as far as my personal tastes go, I really like the subtle, I don't know what you want to call it, the subtle look that these provide over some of the other carbon rims. Okay, so, but to be honest, probably my favorite thing of these rims, aside from the performance, and the thing that constantly reminds me and puts a smile on my face, holy cow, that this is awesome, is the hubs that these things have. Those Industry 9 Hydra hubs, they are so fantastically noisy. It's like a herd of angry bees following you around every time you stop pedaling, and it is borderline obnoxious, and I love it. I love it so much. Sometimes I'll just sit there and go, just because I love the sound so much. If you don't like to be noisy, these probably aren't for you, but if you're like me and you love that sound, oh, that's pushed it over the edge for me. To be honest, when I heard they had those Industry 9 hubs, I had to have them. I don't care, I had to have them. All right, so let's go through the checklist. Do I enjoy them? Hell yeah, I love these rims. Do they enhance my riding experience? Hell yeah. I love them, not only from a performance aspect, from a looks aspect, and from a sound aspect. I mean, that's like all of your senses there, basically, right? Looks, sound, smell. Let me see, do they smell good? They smell good too. Check. That's all of your senses. And now for the question of the hour. Would I buy them again today? After having ridden them for the last 6 months, and about 600 miles, would I spec them again? The answer is yeah, I love these things. They were a pricier upgrade as far as this whole thing went. I think they added $1,300 or so to the price, and I don't care. I love it. I absolutely love it. This is one of those things where you pay the money and you're left with the experience, and the experience I have with these is absolute joy. I could not recommend them enough. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so another thing, if this helps or not, and you're looking to spec out your new bike, it looks like you currently have 3 rim options on the Pivot website for this particular bike. So let's say you wanted to think about it and do it later. I noticed when I was trying to research these out, see how much they weigh and all of that kind of stuff, and these rims by themselves are about $1,000 more aftermarket than you would be spending at the time when you're just building your bike. So maybe Pivot gets a great deal because they build a whole crap load of these things, but If you're going to do it, if you're on the fence, I love them. They have a great lifetime guarantee, and they definitely have improved my riding experience every time I hop on this thing. All right, so will they last the full 9 years like my previous DT Swiss rims did? I hope so. But what I can say is during those full 9 years I had those rims, I can never in my mind remember thinking, I love these rims. They just make me smile. They are so awesome. But I can say that about these. All right, so please, if you have had any experience with these and you feel any differently than I do, leave some comments below. You know, this is kind of meant to be a conversation. I'm just trying to share my experience with this. So if you're looking to build your bike, you know, I'm just a normal guy that likes to mountain bike. So if any of this helps, leave a comment below. In fact, subscribe. I'd love that too. I try to put out new content all the time. And the more we interact together, the better this will be. So, all right, hope you enjoy. Bye.